How's everyone doing? Did everyone get some coffee in the afternoon snacks? I hope everyone's okay. We're super excited to be here with Jennifer and Lydia. There's a lot going on this week in the art world. A lot going on, a lot of new things happening, a lot of excitement, and they're gonna tell us all about it because they're in the middle of it. So, I don't know, who should we start? And maybe a quick introduction from both of you guys. I think it would be really good for everyone to hear. And we'll start with Lydia, and then we'll love to hear from you, Jennifer, after.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lydia. I'm a senior project coordinator at Christie's in the digital art and NFT group. So I focus on artists and consignor management, as well as curation of all the digital art and NFT that comes through for sale at auction at Christie's.
There's a lot more there.
There's a short
She's being
introduction.
humble. Excuse me. My name is, I have a frog in my throat. My name is Jennifer Stockman, and I founded with 4 other people a metaverse and NFT company called DMINTI. Prior to that, I was president of the Guggenheim for 15 years. I also make films. My current one is on Namjoon Pike, who I see as the father of video art, is known as the father of video art, and the father of so much involving technology. And if he didn't pass away in 2006, he would be here today embracing it all. So I'm very happy to be here.
Gosh, you guys are way too humble. This is not acceptable. So let me try to do this a little bit more. So just both Jennifer and Lydia are kind of leading, you know, this transition and the evolution of traditional art getting into the digital art world. You know, so for us, we're super lucky to have you all, both of you guys here, to share a little bit more about what is that transition like, what is that evolution like. And I think, Lydia, you mentioned a little bit about how there's a live auction happening right now on a new platform that you guys have launched.
Yeah.
On Christie's, in a separate platform.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Yeah, so this past year, we've been focused on developing a new on-chain platform, completely separate from, you know, the traditional Christie's.com. And we're calling it Christie's 3.0. It's powered by Manifold, and we're run on Ethereum. We have a sale that just opened for bidding this morning. It's our first curated sale, our second sale on the 3.0 platform. Please do check it out. We're partnered with NFT Now in downtown Miami, and we're on view until Saturday. But yeah, so this is a really exciting sale for us. There's 15 artists. Most of these works are all primary artworks. And yeah, we're just really excited to be curating high quality digital art and bring this to the traditional clientele that Christie's is known for. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. And Jennifer, you were mentioning to me about your work, you know, bringing in traditional artists that built their reputation over 10, 20, 30 plus years, and now they're exploring this digital art world, and some of that through your own platform, DMINTI. So tell us a little bit more about what you're up to.
DMINTI actually is not a platform. We have created a metaverse. And we have actually art installations in the metaverse. The metaverse was designed by a physical and virtual architect by the name of Hani Rashid. It's, in my opinion, stunning, and there's nothing like it out there. And it's been operating for close to a year now, and every time you go, you'll see different art exhibitions, from traditional crypto artists to legacy artists or more traditional artists. Eventually, there's going to be a blend of those two worlds. Right now, everybody is you know, separating them. And we have lectures in the metaverse. Your avatar can come in the metaverse and speak about anything. It's really exciting. You don't need your Oculus glasses. You can access it from your iPhone. It's not as fun and not as beautiful looking, but it's definitely possible. And we like to shepherd artists that I've known for my 30 years in the art world into this new world, because artists have always used the tools available to them, going back to the Renaissance, even earlier than the Renaissance. What paint materials were available, Rauschenberg, you know, a lot more recent than the Renaissance, would find things in garbage cans on the street, and he'd make collages and now quite famous paintings out of this material, mixing all these materials. Well, what is available to artists today are these new technologies. They can use 3D. I mean, we've been talking about this for decades. Artificial intelligence, augmented reality, all of this. Now, artists can access it. They often don't have the bandwidth or you know, it's very intimidating for them to just pick up technology. So we shepherd them through, helping them realize their dreams outside of the frame, do things that they never imagined were possible, and exhibit them. We mint them. You know, we want them seen as much as possible. They've been in exhibitions. And we put their work in the metaverse. At times, they'll speak in the metaverse. And we're staying away for the time being, and I think it's probably going to change in 2023, from auctioning them and you know, just pushing. Number one, the NFT market, as you know, has been a little bit iffy and uncertain in the past year. So that's one of the reasons. But these artists in the traditional world have built up a whole career, and they don't want to be viewed as in it just for the cash grab. In a way, Beeple, back in, when was that, 2020 already? People at Christie's, yeah. By the way. He sold his NFT, as everyone knows, for $69 million. And artists are afraid if they jump in, they're going to look like they want to also. They're just in it for the money. So we're really soft pedaling that and hoping to achieve museum quality, high-end art projects using technology.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see, and you know, people are saying there's a crypto winter and the NFT market isn't what it used to be. But if we just compare it to what we saw last year at this time, I think right now just a lot of that kind of frothy, kind of speculative gambling we see in this market has just gone away, and that just leaves more quality art.
This is great. I think we have many audience members are either collectors or creators themselves, you know, and for both of you guys, you are working with top artists from around the world, whether it's through the auction house or platform or bringing them into this new world. Tell us a little bit more about how are they thinking about this, right? I think not a lot of us get to interact with top artists, traditional artists, whether they're sculptors or painters, and we just want to have some perspective on how they view Web3 as a tool or a new world or evolution or whatever it is. You know, I think if you guys could give that perspective, it would be really helpful for all of us.
Yeah, one of my favorite pieces in the current sale is by a French artist. His name is Zancan. He usually works on the Tezos platform, and his works consistently usually sell for around 6 figures. And he had no idea what Christie's was when we approached him, and he didn't know what an auction was, so there's like a lot of hand-holding, but that's really exciting for me to do, and just work with an artist and, you know, develop this project with him. And his background is in oil painting and coding, so he codes. It's a great background. He's such a character. I love him. But yeah, so it's really interesting to see that kind of experience and how he's developed that and kind of built out his artworks, which are they're so amazing. I really encourage everyone to check him out. His name is Zancan. So yeah, that's something that's really rewarding and one of the favorite things I do in my job that just is so exciting.
I can't wait to check them out, actually, because I'd like to try to collect some NFTs as well as traditional art, which I've been doing for several decades to age myself a little bit. But it's really one of the joys I have too, working with artists. They're very frustrating. They tend to be very controlling, and that's sort of an oxymoron.
That's a top artist, right?
In a field that they don't understand. So, you know, it's always challenging to work with them, but the reward is amazing. I'll give you an example. There's an artist by the name of Josephine Mexbecker. Every major museum around the world probably owns her work. She's from Germany, and she does vitrines, physical vitrines, with all sorts of objects in them, very Duchampian objects, Brancusi paintings, but she always thought her work should be three-dimensional, as it is, and physically, it is three-dimensional. So we were able to help her realize that. She wanted a vitrine in a rugged mountain range, because you can dream whatever you want, with like the point of a icicle going right through the vitrine. You can experience this by going into the vitrine, actually enter the vitrine with your avatar and watch a Brancusi sculpture disintegrate and come back to life. I mean, the experiences you have with an avatar feel real, for those of you who have experienced metaverse with your avatar, but it's a whole different way to appreciate art. And she couldn't be more thrilled. She's giving the talk on this project at Princeton as we speak. We've minted some of the objects in her vitrine where you can view them. They're not for sale yet, but they are minted. And the whole space will be on Spatial in January and probably available for sale. We're discussing all of that now. So that's just one of many examples.
That's incredible. And part of our job for this panel within the Web3 conference is, after this is Art Basel, right? Yeah. So we timed this perfectly, so we're gonna start from tech, and then we're gonna transition into the kind of the art mentality of Art Basel. But Art Basel over the years has changed quite a bit. And for many of us have attended in the past, it was strictly art, and then media, and then some music, some entertainment, and now there's something called Web3 and NFTs, and it's, there's a lot of that now. So how do you guys feel about Art Basel and Web3 and this evolution of this art industry and this new technology tools that we're able to take advantage of and build new things?
Yeah, it's interesting that, it's throughout the years, and particularly like last year, I think that was it was our first Basel where we really saw a presence in Web3, merging with the traditional art world and traditional art fairs. So yeah, it's really important just to have this presence and merge with that, traditional clientele and art market. And in Christie's, we really focus on that as well. Within our evening sales, which is a traditional auctioneer, this is, our marquee sales we have 2 times a year. We'll have to incorporate NFTs as well. In our day sale and post-war day sale that we had a few weeks ago, we had a really special piece by the artist you might know. His name is Ferocious. He's a 19-year-old artist, and we built this entire installation with acrylic walls where he painted live in the galleries for 5 days. Wow. Or maybe it was more than that. It was throughout the view, and he was interacting with, all of our collectors that would come in to see, like the Seurat's on the wall, the Rothkos, and he was live painting. It started off as a blank canvas, and it was kind of partnered with his digital artwork, NFTs, that were also on view. Wow. So yeah, just the presence of seeing these kind of worlds merge is just, it's really rewarding.
So they're creating physical work, and then that pairs with the digital work.
Yeah.
And using Web3, so this is happening.
Yeah.
Wow. Jennifer, what do you think?
Well, it's funny. I remember the day in the art world where photography, for example, was separated from painting. Museums were organized by having a sculpture committee, a painting committee, a photography committee. Right now, you go to the Basel Art Fair, you go to any place, and it's all come together. It's not divided on those lines. Maybe some museums still might to some extent, but pretty much not. And I see the same thing evolving with Web3. Right now, we have this conference, very separate. Most of the Art Basel people have no interest in coming here. And probably many people here have no interest in going there too. There seems to be a definite wall. And I think we're gonna just see it merging. The question is, who has the crystal ball to know when? when these worlds are going to merge. I think once the technology becomes very accessible, very user-friendly, and just available in every way, we're going to just see more and more of it merge.
Yeah, and just to add on that, just bridging that gap between these two worlds is just not, something that can happen very quickly. There's so many people that, that are here right now in Miami that just have no idea what a wallet is. They're not involved in crypto and blockchains at all, but you'd be surprised to see that, hear that some of the buyers of high value NFTs that we've sold at Christie's and other auction houses, they have bought the artwork, not knowing what an NFT is or having a wallet. They just really like the work, just for the art itself. So we hear months later, it's like, how do you get the token? And they just have no idea.
Wow. And if I have to guess, it'll depend on the companies like you guys that, and are innovating and bringing these sort of the two worlds together. And
We hope so.
right, and merging the two worlds together, right? And what about the collectors, right? So we talked about kind of the perspective of from artists, and now obviously they're interested because it helps them express themselves more in a digital format. Now that this new tool has given them that opportunity. What about the collectors? Are they just as interested? And you mentioned a little bit, Jennifer.
The collectors, don't get the same enjoyment that I know, anyway, that I've sort of grown up with in the art world, don't get the same enjoyment looking at their collection on their iPhone and showing their friends, look what I just bought, look at the NFT. They wanted to see it on their walls. And at this point, we're not seeing, other than the fair, the NFT fair and the Christie's exhibition, we're not seeing that many examples of living with these NFTs, with these high-tech artworks. And I think we have to bridge. We have to have screens in all different shapes and sizes. And, it's really the frame for the NFT, when you think about it, the screen. And for some reason, there's a little block there among collectors.
Yeah, I don't think we're there at all with displays and screens. And yeah, we've worked with companies like Danvas, they're really great at building museum quality screens. It's, we want to move away from just having kind of a TV or Samsung on your wall to display the artwork. Yeah, but the technology is not quite there yet, and that's what we hear from a lot of collectors. Yeah.
And besides the screens, what else is missing from your perspective? And how else could we help to bring the two worlds more closely together?
It's very interesting. Being in the museum world for a long time, a big issue every museum discusses endlessly is how do you raise revenues? How do you, museums are typically not-for-profit institutions, and revenues and attendance is a really big part of it. Well, you've probably been reading over the past year that a number of these museums, including the Hermitage, including AKG in Buffalo, are beginning to take some of their masterpieces, physical masterpieces from their collection and minting them as NFTs. So therefore, they're two separate works. They still own the copyright of the physical work, but someone else would have the privilege of owning the NFT. And the NFT could be shared broadly among a vast community. It's sort of like you go to a museum, you like one of the pictures, so you buy a poster. So I think this is all going to evolve over time, where a collector can show someone else's NFT that somebody else owns, but they could still enjoy it the way you'd put a poster up.
Interesting.
If you like the artwork.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that, Lydia? Anything else that's missing?
Yeah, it's museums are very, very important, and what the MoMA is doing right now with Rafiq Anadol, I think, just having the support and backing of an institution like that just gives more legitimacy to digital artworks and the NFT market, and it's lasting.
Great. So, last words, and any advice for people who want to explore sort of this digital art or a digital art Basel that we're about to see, this coming week? Any advice for for people that are here this week that want to get to know more about this transition or the evolution of traditional art going into digital?
I think the first step is just kind of buying your first NFT and exploring digital artworks, you know, just buying like a very low value one and getting your MetaMask set up, and you'll really see how rewarding and like collecting art is.
Yeah, I for some reason just thought of the Damien Hirst project that I don't know if you remember the project, he started it about over a year ago. He issued 10,000, well, you had the choice whether you wanted to buy an NFT or a physical work of his. There were going to be a total of 10,000. And you had, in 6 months, had the chance to change your mind. So if you bought the NFT and said, oh no, NFTs are going nowhere, you could then get the physical work. He was doing this as an experiment. And after a year, he would then talk about the results of this project. Did more people want the NFTs, or did they still feel more comfortable with the digital work? And the demographics were all over the board. It was really a fascinating exercise. I bought the NFT and stuck with my NFT because I believe NFTs are here to stay. I have no idea what's going to happen to values over time. I think this one in particular is very interesting. It's just his dot paintings, if you're familiar with that. But it turned out that more people chose the physical work. In the end of the day, of the 10,000, like 5,800 chose the actual Damien Hirst physical work, and the rest of us kept the NFTs. And I think that probably the timing was not so great in that that's when the NFT market dipped too. So people said, oh, let me just get out and get my physical work. So there's still a lot of unease in that market.
Got it. So just want to say thank you so much for both of your perspectives, and please give it up for Jennifer and Lydia, and happy Basel Week.